It's June 24th, 1974, and you're piloting a plane over Washington State, making a routine trip and looking for a downed aircraft, when suddenly you see something that shouldn't be in the sky with you. At least you think. Flying at altitude with you are 9 shiny objects. You've never seen anything like this before. No one has ever seen anything like this before. You've got to tell people what you've just seen once you land. Little do you know it, but you're about to start the modern UFO craze in America. This is the story of the Kenneth Arnold UFO sighting. Hello and welcome to the Odds and Events podcast, unraveling the odd and investigating the eventful. I'm your host, and here are my co-hosts, Chris.
Hey guys.
And Dalton.
Hello.
I am super excited for today's episode, and as we know, I'm a lover of all things spooky, weird, and alien. What about you guys?
No, I hate all of it.
I'm dealing with the aliens since last episode.
I was about to say, you were in the wrong show then if you hate all of this.
Yeah, I'm just going to be the hater. That's what I'm...
We do need a resident hater if we need
I'm on the payroll for. Just going to be like, no, it's stupid.
Dalton's just BFFs with the aliens already.
Yeah, as I said, I've been here since last episode, so...
Yeah, he's just been
you got here like a week ago, huh? Or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
really weird.
These guys make amazing margaritas, by the way. New Mexico is exactly where it needs to be.
Well, that's not where it is in this story.
I know.
This one didn't crash. So maybe they made a pit stop in Washington, accidentally crashed in New Mexico. You know? I don't know.
They picked me up there. I don't know.
They stopped off at a Chipotle.
Yeah.
Hey, we're Qdoba fans. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, you're not wrong. This is a Qdoba, pro Qdoba podcast.
It's also pro Chipotle for sponsorships. Got it.
Yes,
got you.
okay, yes.
As a hater, I'm going to say no.
To all of it?
Yep.
Okay, just to all of it. No Qdoba and no Chipotle.
It's okay. The aliens don't discriminate against food places, so we're good.
And that's what makes them so alien, that they don't have a preference.
Yeah.
But you know what they do not like?
What?
Taco stands. They don't like them because they wrap everything in
tinfoil.
Tinfoil, yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering where you're going with that. I was like,
I also was wondering where he was going with that. But it makes sense now. Everything's wrapped in tinfoil. They hate tinfoil. Now, I do want to ask, have you guys, other than the little bit I have talked about, ever heard or know exactly what happens with the Kenneth Arnold sighting?
Nope.
Okay. Oh, for real?
Yeah, correct.
This is not a bit? Okay.
No, I would love to know more about what
I'm actually super excited because you're really into aliens and UFOs, and I know next to nothing aside from...
I'm no ufologist. Although I did have this weird realization the other day that, maybe I technically am, because if I get paid for it on YouTube now, I think that makes me a UFO person.
Yeah, I like the idea. You're like, I don't know much about UFOs, and then you look at your YouTube, and every video is UFO sighting.
You should see my bookshelves at home. I have 2.5 large bookshelves full of alien books. It's bad.
You're not in aliens, are you? No, I have no idea what you're talking about. Hides all the books, stuffed plushes of aliens.
I was actually thinking about crocheting myself a little alien plushie.
Yeah, I don't think you get to claim that you're not a ufologist.
Oh.
You might just be a work-at-home ufologist. You're not out in the field looking for it.
I'm not out in the field. No. I have heat sensitivity. I can't be out in the field. I'm just.
Of course, you're not out in the field. You'd meet them.
I want to so bad. Like we've talked about before. I'll put a sign outside my house say "Aliens stop here, free eggs."
Well, Lainey, actually.
No, okay, as in not chicken eggs, my eggs.
What? No, what?
I don't know.
Okay, guys. I'm sorry for these co-hosts. I mean, They don't know what they're saying. I'm so sorry.
No,
No, we know.
aliens want
We
my
know what we're
eggs.
saying.
Insulted.
I know what I'm saying.
They're gonna drop me off now, Lainey. Thanks.
Here's the thing. There's a lot of theories before we get into this story that aliens abduct people for their reproductive juices and whatnot.
No,
and
I like it better that they abduct you for your eggs. Yes, your eggs, but also for an omelet. You know?
I mean, I'll cook them up an omelet too if they want. I'm not that good of a cook. My husband's the one who cooks meals for us mostly, but they can have mine. I'm not using them. They are bargain bin eggs because one time I swear to God we've talked about this. I looked up what it costs to like sell your eggs because you can make a lot of money from it, and I'm like, well, I'm not using mine. Well, I basically didn't meet any of the criteria because I'm too messed up.
Oh no!
I don't think you met the
have
criteria
bargain
because you're only offering to sell them to the aliens. Duh.
I don't know. But like mine are basically bargain bin eggs. Like this is the Wish, like the Timo eggs. Like they're not good ones. So aliens, you can have them for free. All I require is a ride in the spaceship.
Jeez. Okay, that's not fair. I don't have eggs
sorry.
to give. I don't have eggs to give.
Well, you've got other stuff to give.
Oh, they want that too?
They do want that. Yup.
Oh. Okay. Well,
They're
then...
coming for your tacos.
No,
more
that's
like
the whole thing.
More like a hot dog, but yeah.
Oh my God. Please make this rated E explicit.
Yeah,
not
it
for
is
everybody.
Rated E!
Yeah, you have to
E
rate
for
it.
everyone.
It's not for everybody. This is not a child-friendly episode, guys. I don't know what. Here's the thing. I'm just so deep.
This is
I've been
the
so
point where
deep.
we just, you know,
That's what the aliens
everything we have said so far just gets wiped and we start back at the beginning of the episode.
Just cuts it all. Okay. But we're not talking about that this episode. I want everybody to know we got a little off the rails. We can talk about that in the future if we want to do the Betty. What about the Betty and Barney Hill case?
What?
That?
That's what happens in the Betty and Barney Hill case. It's
They
like the
take
first
eggs?
modern. Yeah, it's like the first modern.
Aliens
alien
come down and...
Yeah, it happens in, what is it, the 50s or 60s? They're on their way home from their honeymoon and they get abducted by aliens. It's the first major alien abduction story before we get even Travis Walton. You guys don't know anything, do you?
No.
Does the music that happened... no, I don't know the actual, like, Benny Hill, like, theme, but that one?
No, it is not that. No. Oh, no. Much scarier.
Sorry, older audience.
So,
I failed you.
To be fair, I actually don't even know what you're talking about.
What?
The Benny Hill
Can
theme.
If
It's
you
like
gave it to me,
you would recognize it if you heard it.
if I heard it, I would know.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's
Duncan
used in
did
like
particularly,
used in
like,
comedy a lot.
Like, where,
Is it
like
the
there's
one
people
where
chasing...
people are running around?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the tenor saxophone?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely not happening with Betty and Barney Hill. Absolutely not.
I mean, hey, you never know what's
No.
going on in the aliens' heads.
I mean, maybe for them, but it was very traumatic for them. But this is not this story. Kenneth Arnold, I'm trying to rope us back in, but you guys keep making me
I'm
explain
sorry. Okay,
other
let's go.
alien stories. Which we can get to. But this one, way less traumatic. For America as a whole, I would say. Well, maybe. I don't know. We'll get there. So, let's settle in. Everybody get comfortable. We're starting the story with Kenneth Arnold. Before we get into it, we gotta acknowledge our sources. The National Air and Space Museum, Smithsonian, UFOB, Your UAP Library YouTube channel, Fate Magazine, and The Coming of the Saucers by Kenneth Arnold himself and Ray Palmer. Now, let me set the scene for the story. It's June 24th, 1947. So we're fresh out of World War II and diving headfirst into the Cold War. The baby boom is in full swing, and America is pulling itself out of wartime craze. The CIA is just 2 years old at this point, and we are just a few weeks away from the Roswell crash. And when I say a few weeks, I'm pretty sure it's literally 2 weeks, by the way. Now, this story is centered around Kenneth Arnold. Kenneth is born in Minnesota, but he grows up in Montana and eventually moves to Idaho. And from what I read in his book, he seems like a pretty typical, like, white American boy for the time. He likes being outside, swimming and fishing. He likes playing football, and he even attends college in Minnesota for football. But unfortunately, his college career ends with a knee injury. Again, he moves to Idaho, and he becomes a pilot, amongst many other things. This guy, he's doing a lot, actually. So, how this story starts. He takes off from, I think it's either pronounced Chehalis or Chehalis, Washington, on his way to an air show in Pendleton, Oregon, with a planned fuel stop in Yakima, Washington. He's an experienced pilot with 4,000 hours of flying time logged. He's a member of Idaho Search and Rescue, and not to mention he's also a deputy sheriff for Ada County in Idaho. And again, Idaho is where he lives like a large portion of his life. He even would fly federal prisoners to McNeil Island Penitentiary. So, like, to me, this guy, he seems like a no-nonsense kind of guy to me. You know, he knows his way around planes. He knows his way around the sky. Again, I want to point out, you know, to be a pilot, you kind of have to go through a lot of testing. And I'm sure it's probably even gotten more rigorous of testing since the 40s. But, like, you have to log a lot of flight time. You have to be comfortable with an aircraft, all of its instruments and stuff. Which, fun fact, I flew a plane one time and then almost nosedived it on accident.
Did you?
No, that is an actual true story. My father-in-law
What?
has his pilot's license. My father-in-law has his pilot's license. And the very first time I ever visited my husband, because we were long distance, that's a whole story in and of itself. He was like, let's go flying in my little plane. And I was like, okay. And while his dad, you know, gets us up in the air and we're flying, and he's like, oh, do you want to try, like, flying the plane? Because there's, you know, two joysticks or whatever they're called. What are they called? I don't know what they're called. Wheels?
I know they're not called joysticks.
Whatever they are.
Oh my gosh.
They're the two wheels or whatever. And to go down in an airplane, at least this one, you push in. Like, it isn't, like, I don't know how to explain it, but, like, you just literally push the handles into the plane, and then it dips you down. But I didn't know how sensitive it was, so I just, like, pushed it in, and we were like, terrifying.
Oh,
I never want
no.
to do that again.
Gentlemen, do you ever feel that sometimes a lady could just, you know, drop right out of the sky into your backyard?
Literally me.
Well, then we have a story for you.
Yeah, no, that was terrifying.
That's a interesting rom-com.
My husband and my father-in-law were terrified. But I lived to tell the tale, didn't I? And I don't plan on going in a small little plane ever again, to be honest. I learned my lesson. I am a land-based creature. Actually, land and water. Love water. Pools, mostly. But, you know, that still counts. So, Kenneth Arnold, he is piloting a single-engine Cal Air A2 light airplane. So it's a small little airplane. And he's used to this. The skies are clear. Winds were light. He had planned a detour, a little bit of a detour en route. Because he is looking for, at the time, this U.S. Marine Corps Curtiss C-46 commando transport actually had crashed with 32 U.S. Marines aboard somewhere, the government believes, near where he was going to be flying around anyways. And there was actually a $5,000 reward if he happened to find this downed airplane. So he says, you know, he's like, okay, I will plan a stop so I can fly around a couple of times, see if I can see anything while I'm up in the air, you know? And again, before we go any further, I'll point out the $5,000, which in today's money would be about $71,000, give or take.
Wow.
It would be nice. I mean, I would still be looking even for just $5,000, but, like, so he's hoping to find that's a lot of money for 1947. That is a crazy amount of money. So Arnold takes off from Chehalis, and around 2 to 2:15 in the afternoon is when he takes off. He knows, again, he isn't immediately going to stop in Yakima. He's adjusted his flight time to give himself at least 1 hour to kind of circle around the area, again, where this craft is believed to be downed. And he planned to go kind of be above and circling down around Mount Rainier. Beautiful mountain. I've seen it in the air. It's gorgeous.
You've seen the mountain in the air?
Yes, I was in a plane.
Oh, no, that's okay. Whew, I was scared for a minute.
What did you think I was doing?
The mountain was floating. He was being silly.
Oh, is that what it is? Yes,
right.
no, okay. Oh my God, I just got it. Okay. Sorry, it took me a second there. I was thinking about planes and, you know, flying.
Oh, you know what?
Sorry.
My night's made. Thank you.
I'm glad I could bring a little light to your day. So, shortly before 3 p.m., as Arnold circled his airplane about 20 miles west of Mount Rainier, searching for the C-46, he sees a bright flash to the northeast. And this is what he has to say about it. While making a turn of 180 degrees over Mineral, Washington at approximately 9,200 feet altitude, that a tremendously bright flash lit up the surfaces of my aircraft. I was startled. I thought I was very close to collision with some other aircraft whose approach I had not noted. I spent the next 20 to 30 seconds urgently searching the sky all around, to the sides, above, and below me, in an attempt to determine where the flash of light had come from. The only actual plane I saw was a DC-4 far to my left and rear, apparently on its San Francisco to Seattle run. My momentary explanation to myself was that some lieutenant in a P-51 had given me a buzz job across my nose, and that it was the sun reflecting from the surface of his wings as he passed that had caused the flash. Before I had time to collect my thoughts or to find any close aircraft, the flash happened again. This time, I caught the direction from which it had come. I observed, far to my left and to the north, a formation of very bright objects coming from the vicinity of Mount Baker, flying very close to the mountaintops and traveling at tremendous speed. I think it's important here to note here that he's doing what I think any good trained pilot would do, and probably just like any rational person would do. Like, he's like, oh my god, like, is there a plane I'm about to hit? How did I not see it, kind of a thing. Like, or there's just something that I didn't see, but it's, a reasonable explanation, right? Because, I mean, yeah, that wouldn't be fun. Now there's 2 plane crashes somebody's got to go look for, Unlucky. So he continues to watch what he's thinking is a really close formation of jets coming directly his way. But they're still off quite a distance when he first catches sight of them, so he's kind of trying his best to make out the detail and shape of these supposed jets. He can see they're flying in an echelon formation, which is a military formation in which units are arranged diagonally. Each unit is stationed behind and to the right, or behind and to the left of the unit ahead. It's like when when you see geese flying, that's kind of like what an echelon formation would be.
Yes, triangle formation.
Yes.
Pizza
And
slice.
Yeah, pretty much.
Back to first episode.
Yeah, literally. And it's like the whole echelon formation is about 5 miles long, he estimates. So, assuming that what he's seeing is jets, which are weaving in and out of the mountain peaks, he's starting to get a little startled as he notices these jets don't seem to have any tails, like the back end of the craft, like a regular aircraft would. And Arnold states, I felt sure that, being jets, they had tails, but figured they must be camouflaged in some way so that my eyesight could not perceive them. I knew that the Air Force was very artful in knowledge and use of camouflage. I observed the objects' outlines plainly as they flipped and flashed along against the snow, and also against the sky. Since this formation of craft was at almost right angles to me and was traveling from north to south, I was in an excellent position to clock their speed. So again, Arnold is doing what I think most people would be doing in this situation. He's coming up with logical explanations, still the best that he can. He's like, oh, weird, I can't see the butt end of them, but like, maybe it's the government. Maybe it's just some high-tech government thing that I am not aware of because he's not in the government.
As a fellow skeptic, I will say so far kudos for like being like, oh, it's probably this. It's probably this. Like,
yeah. And I think, again, too.
How dare he not jump straight to
No,
aliens?
as much as I want it to be that. Like, I think this is the perfect way to do it. I want aliens and all of that stuff to be real bad.
Same.
But there's a whole host of other explanations that usually can cover the gamut of things.
Mm-hmm.
As boring
yeah,
as that
and
is.
it's boring, but it's like, to me, it's less fun, but it could be potentially more dangerous if you just
it could be
accept whatever theory, it sounds the
just accept
coolest. That doesn't sound.
It's not cool. It's not fun. It's boring, but it is what it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But again, I think he's behaving perfectly logical and sane here.
So far,
I'll
be the judge of that.
I would say there is nothing out of the ordinary other than these weird jets. While he's observing these crafts, things are like starting to not make sense. And as he gets closer to them, he's noticing a lot of strange things that just don't add up for how aircraft behave or look. Arnold goes on to say, I was fascinated by this formation of aircraft. They didn't fly like any aircraft I had ever seen before. In the first place, their echelon formation was backward from that practiced by our Air Force. The elevation of the first craft was greater than that of the last. They flew in a definite formation but erratically. As I put it to a newsman in Pendleton, Oregon, they flew like a saucer would if you skipped it across the water. And I am stopping right here. Just remember that he said that. That is a very important sentence I just said.
Yeah, at first I was like, because I think it's the saucer part, right? Because this is the first time that someone's referenced it being the flying saucer. Is
Correct.
that,
We're going to be getting to
Yeah.
that. You are right.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm smart.
Gold star for Chris.
I'm learning.
You are learning. But yes, remember that sentence. Very important. Another characteristic of these craft that made a tremendous impression on me was how they fluttered and sailed, tipping their wings alternatively and emitting those bright blue-white flashes from their surfaces. At the time, I did not get the impression that these flashes were emitted by them, but rather that it was the sun's reflection from the extremely highly polished surface of their wings. Arnold described each object as sort of circular, like imagine a pie plate that was cut in half, I'm saying what he's saying here. It's a pie plate that's cut in half, but it's kind of got a triangle poking out of the rear, and they're about 100 feet across, so they're not small. And again, there's no discernible tail. And he says 8 of them mostly look the same, but there's one in the front that looks distinctly different, and this is crescent-shaped, again with that pointed, like imagine a crescent moon, and then in the middle of the dip, again, there's like a triangle sticking out of it, so it's pointed in the middle. The objects periodically flipped, banked, and weaved side to side, and he says like that of a Chinese kite. So whatever these things were, they're not small by any means, and they look, from what I would assume, very different from, what planes we're used to at this time period.
There's just some weird birds.
Willy-wheeled. That's like willy-wheeled. I did send you guys some pictures again to get this is a artist rendering mock-up, and Kenneth Arnold is holding the picture of what he believes he saw. And if you want to look at this picture, because I know you guys in the audience cannot see this picture, come on onto our Discord so you can look at it. But isn't that weird?
It's
Why
Batman.
is it a picture of me?
It does look a little bit like Batman.
Hold on,
right.
I'm looking at it upside down. My bad. One second.
Well,
oh my gosh, it's Batman.
Not the person. It's a batarang.
It does look like a batarang. You're exactly right.
Oh my god, Batman.
Holy UFO sightings, Batman.
And I'm pretty sure Batman does not exist. Wait, does Batman exist in 1947?
No.
Maybe.
I think Superman does, but
Maybe.
that's not even MCU.
As a resident nerd, I have to know this.
May 1939, Detective Comics number 27.
Just kidding. Batman exists.
Batman exists. The aliens
Oh, no.
modeled their ships after Batman.
Wait, so did the Batarang exist too? Because that could literally poke a hole in the story to me. I'm not going to lie.
Detective Comics number 31, September 1939.
Still with the Batarang? And it looks exactly
that's the
like a
Batarang.
regular Batarang?
He uses it in the story Batman versus the Vampire.
Oh my god. So, I mean, potentially...
Oh my god, I could talk about... never mind. I could talk about how that vampires were portrayed back then, but I'm not going to.
Well, please write an episode on it. I'll let you do it. So back to the story. The formation was crossing in front of Arnold, and he decided that this is the best time to time its passage from Mount Rainier to Mount Adams, because that's where they're in between when he's seeing all of this. So before sitting down and actually getting to write out his estimations, he basically, his eyeballing it estimation is over 1,000 miles per hour, which that's, pretty fast. Arnold states in the following from his 1948 Fate magazine article. Love Fate magazine. I started collecting them, by the way. Anyways, I continued my search for the marine plane for another 15 or 20 minutes, and while searching for this marine plane, the things I had just observed kept going through my mind. I became more disturbed. So, after taking a last look at Teton Reservoir, I headed for Yakima. I might add that my complete observation of these objects, which I could even follow by their flashes as they passed Mount Adams, was around 2½ or 3 minutes, although by the time they reached Mount Adams, they were out of my range of vision as far as determining shape or form. Of course, when the sun reflected from 1 or 2 or 3 of these units, they appeared to be completely round. But I am making a drawing to the best of my ability, which I am including as to the shape I observed these objects to be as they passed the snow-covered ridges at Mount Rainier. And again, I sent you guys that picture. An audience will be able to look at it in Discord. What he draws here, this is where things feel a little discombobulated for me. Because, again, I think too he is talking, so the picture he's holding up and pointing at, I believe, is the main object.
Okay.
But the pictures to the right where it's like literally just lines, I believe are the not main object. But like, imagine you're flying and, because I assume, have we all been in the air in an airplane here in this group?
Yeah, I mean, I've been in an airplane, yeah, but I've never, like, been in the cockpit, you know?
Okay, you don't need to be in a cockpit. Most
Okay.
airplanes, you've looked out of a window of an airplane that you were in and it was in the air.
Yeah.
Imagine seeing something like that. Would you be like, what the
I would
heck?
say Batman! No,
I mean, to be fair,
I
that's a
too
fair
can
thing to
draw
think.
those shapes.
Good job. Gold star for Dalton.
Yeah, I think he's trying to say, like, hey, this is how it, like, kind of looks like. It looks like from side view.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, this is my, what is it, summation? Is that the word I'm looking for?
Sure.
I don't know. My, whatever I'm saying, is that, like, the one he's pointing at, the more detailed one, is what I assume to be the main one. The one he drew then is perhaps the not main ones, the one that was not flying in front.
That, or he's just a really bad drawer.
He might be a really bad drawer. I don't. He did not talk about in his book loving to draw. Only about fishing.
Because he even says in that picture that you sent, it says Kenneth Arnold's own designs of the strange craft he observed near Mount Rainier on June 24th, 1947, where the shape given here. He also observed the crescent shape shown to him while in Tacoma.
Yes.
So it sounds like there's like
the 8
two
ones
main
following
shapes
behind, and then there's the batarang in the front.
Right. So Batman up front and
Which
I
makes
don't know.
sense.
Yeah.
Blobs in the back.
So
Yeah.
the penguin, it's the I don't even know. But what kind of shape is that?
It's a weird little shape. I don't know what you would call that
well,
if
that's
there's like an actual shape
that's
name for
an
it.
organic shape. I know there's like a weird like
Space cone.
Yeah, sure. You know what? That's what it is.
Yep, it's space
cone.
Space cone.
Actually, if we want to get really specific with it, it sort of looks like, okay, here, for all my big history nerds, it sort of looks like if you know what a cockade style hand fan looks like.
I love how. I'm sorry. I just want to read the full caption on the batarang.
Please do.
Kenneth Arnold, shown in 1966 with a drawing of a flying saucer, reportedly spent many long hours of fruitless flying with a camera, trying and failing to find anything like his saucers again.
But he really did. He talks about it in his book. Like, there's a whole, like, part 2 to the story that I didn't even, like, I was like, I can't cover all of this. Because there's, like, he literally does go up and he's like, I've got my camera ready. And he doesn't. Well, okay, I shouldn't say, not that time does he see them. But he has a couple other sightings that don't happen directly. This could be the general UFO flap. Remember that term, boys.
I do know what that means now.
What does it mean?
That is when there's like a large amount of like UFO sightings like in an area in a very specific time period, right?
Correct! Ding, ding, ding! Gold star to Chris. He is the good noodle.
I have 2 gold stars this episode. I will
To be
spin
fair, I'm
them
pretty
wisely.
sure Dalton had
Got like
2 last.
4. You got
Yeah.
4. I got
This ain't a challenge, but I'm covered in gold stars.
but you're a teacher. You just
I
own
may
them.
have bought them from Michael's, but that's...
To be fair, one time when I was really going through a tough time, my husband did literally buy me gold star stickers to put on a calendar to be like, did you have a good day?
So
because
fun-
I needed it.
So fun fact, we have a whiteboard on our fridge. I feel like a lot of people do, to make notes of things. But I also have little whiteboard stickers, or I used to, that anytime that a roommate would do something really cool or I was really proud of someone, I would write their name on the whiteboard and put a sticker on there.
Oh my god, I love that.
Yeah.
That is so sweet. God,
And
I
then-
should tell my husband to
Then
do that.
next I saw them, I would give them like a Reese's Pieces or a Snickers bar.
Aw, just one Reese's Pieces.
Well, like one of those little packs that are like a 2-pack,
Like the little Halloween candies.
Yeah, exactly. And be like, you did a good job. Here you go.
But yeah, so again, I hope people enjoyed. I assume you guys don't know what a cockade style hand fan is.
I have guesses, but I guarantee you they're wrong.
So, you know what a hand fan... So, you know what a hand fan looks like? The one where, like, it's blaze open.
Yeah, the hand fan is probably the only thing that I guessed right in terms of the shape.
Yes.
But a cockade sounds like something...
Okay.
A cockade.
I had to learn. A cockade style hand fan is like, so instead of it flapping open, it doesn't flap open. It's
You
just
can't
one
say
big
that.
fan. What? What part?
I'm sorry, you can't say it like that.
What did I say?
It sounds
I don't
so
know
funny.
either.
Wait, repeat it because it's gone
That the
from my mind.
cockade fan flaps.
Okay. Get your mind out of the gutter. Well, how else do you say it? It doesn't splay
At this
open.
point, I'm going to draw our attention back to how this episode began, and I'll let you rephrase yourself.
Oh, you know what? Okay, we got a lot of cocks on the mind. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's just one of those days. It's just one of those
It
days.
is one of those days. Listen.
Aliens and I have been
I had-
cooking up some like really good jokes for the last week and a half.
And I am running on weird camping, missing sleep time still. Because Lainey tried to go tent camping, on her own with a friend who doesn't know how to tent camp, and it didn't go well, surprisingly.
That's funny. You're funny.
It really messed me. I wish so badly I had, like, recorded it, and, like, it was like reality TV levels of humor. It was comic. It was so comical.
It does sound like a skit in a TV show.
It felt like a skit, to be honest, and it ended with a raccoon ripping open our trash bag, pilfering MRE mac and cheese noodles. He got the worst of the 3 MREs we tried. He was so hungry, and he was gobbling it up as fast as he could, and I was like, oh, you're so cute, and I love you so much, but I am not supposed to give you people food. And then I had to say, go on now, get, and, like, chase him off.
At least he was
terrible.
considerate, and he took, like, the worst one.
I felt bad he took the worst one. He should have tried the other ones. That chicken adobo rice was pretty good. And then we had to go drive and find where the dumpster was at midnight. And, like, we're holding the trash bag outside of my car so it doesn't leak garbage juice into the car. And then at that point, we were like, why are we doing this? We can just go home. And then we did. And that's how that ended.
We can just go home. We took the raccoon, but that's besides the point.
Well, actually, we had realized, too, in that car ride, in the pitch black, covered in, like, I got bug spray in my eyes, so I'm kind of blinded. My other friend is actually legally blind, cannot drive, so we can't see. And we were like, why did we even do this? Like, we don't like camping. And then we remembered the whole thing is that we wanted to look at stars and bring my telescope. And then in the panic of, like, trying to get all our camping supplies, completely forgot that was the objective the whole time. And it was rainy and cloudy out anyways. So I wouldn't have even been able to see stars, wouldn't have been able to see UFOs. You know what I did see? A raccoon ripping open my garbage.
Yeah, you're pretty bad at that camping thing. Yeah.
I was bad at camping. I'm not doing that again. Please, no cast parties camping unless it is in a cabin or, like, camper.
Darn it,
Dang
that was
it.
going to be our next cast party.
Like wilderness survival adventure. I wouldn't. Hey, if you need me to start a fire though with flint and steel, that's about
I'm
the only
still
thing I
waiting
did.
for the escape room.
I would love that. Anyways, sorry, let's get back to the story. But it isn't until he gets back to Pendleton, Oregon, after his fuel stop in Yakima, that he actually, like, gets to sit down with other, like, his pilot buddies that happen to be there and kind of figure out on paper what the speeds truly were. And Arnold states, I don't know how many fellows sat down and started figuring it out. When it kept coming out in excess of 1,700 miles an hour, I thought, holy smokes, we're taking the measurement of distance too high up on both Mount Rainier and Mount Adams. So we took a measurement of the very base, as closely as it could be determined, and which I knew from the map was far below the snowline. The distance was 39.8 miles. Even covering this distance, which was so far on the conservative side that I knew it was incorrect, we still had a speed of over 1,350 miles per hour. To me, that evening, that was that. They were guided missiles, robotly controlled. I knew that at speeds of this velocity, the human body simply could not stand, particularly considering the flipping, erratic movements of these strange craft. Now, I want to point out, this is a couple months before a guy, Colonel Chuck Yeager, flew the Bell X-1 rocket airplane to a speed of 700 miles per hour. and he exceeds the speed of sound. So what Kenneth Arnold sees, and they keep calculating on paper because they're like, this literally is not possible. Like, it keeps coming out to these very big numbers it's not happening right now. There's nothing in existence at this point in time that could be remotely flying this fast in the air.
Yeah, that's kind of like the equivalence of going back to when people were on horses and having like a Ferrari zoom by.
They would have been like,
Like that speed's
what?
impossible. Yeah.
No, it is impossible at this time period.
What do you mean they have 600 horsepower? What do you mean?
Literally. Like, I've got 600 horses. That's 600 horsepower. Okay, so, again, can you just imagine, like, seeing something that doesn't or shouldn't exist? You're all alone, and you're seeing these things, and you, like, don't have words to describe them, basically. Because, if we remember, he's trying really hard to explain what he's seeing in the terms that he has knowledge of.
Right. I mean, he's trying to be logical and say, and not jump immediately to the spooky, which is nice.
I don't think we have things, but we do have these really cool shapes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we have cool shapes. But, like, even here, too, even at this point, he's like, no, this has got to be guided missiles. Like, I just don't know about it. And there's times when he's talking to some other people that they're like, oh, this has got to be that. Like, trying to also reassure him. And it seems so desperately wants it to be something logical. And I actually am going to stop us here, and we get to listen to Kenneth Arnold himself speaking on what happened during this flight. And, like, this is almost, like, immediately after he speaks. Like, it happened, and that night, this is recorded. So what do we think of that?
He's quite ambitious.
Yeah, that was a lot. A lot of good info. He seemed really clear, and what he saw, really concise. He wasn't trying to jump to conclusions, which I really, really appreciate. So I digged it. Little side note is his voice does not match what he looks like.
I know.
Yeah.
The entire time I'm listening to it, and I'm building this image in my head of what he could potentially look like. I'm like, wait, no, I have a picture. And I pull it up, and I'm like, oh, well, that's not as cool as what I was thinking.
And I believe, yeah, his voice does not match his face.
Like, he's not a bad looking dude either way. But I'm just saying,
sort of like the guy who plays Chuck Bass in Gossip Girl.
Yeah, exactly. But he sounds
in what?
In Gossip Girl, the guy, I can't think of his name, but the guy who plays Chuck Bass. He sort of looks like that.
Yeah, 100%. But, like, well, not 100%. You know what I mean? Like, I can see it.
You agree with me.
I agree with you.
Now, yeah, what were you going to say?
Oh, no, that was pretty much it. I was just going to say, but his voice is just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He makes me think, I don't know, like a skinny little farmer or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
he does sound like a skinny farmer.
A skinny little farmer, but he's not.
Yeah, in his, like, early 20s.
To be fair, if you are a skinny farmer and you do not sound like this, we are not responsible for our words.
Yes, I'm not responsible for
I'm responsible for my words.
Chris is responsible for our words.
These words are for entertainment purposes and some education only.
Nope.
Oh, okay, well, mine.
Pause. You did state recently that you were educated, Chris.
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah. Well, I changed my mind. I'm not educated anymore.
Just kidding. Chris is dumb now.
Yep. I've gone back to being dumb.
So this recording was taken on June 26th. Or it was the 25th. There's a whirlwind happening here. So it's just a day or two after the sighting. What I find really, like, pretty compelling myself is that compared to this and everything I have read to you so far that was his words are the same story, are they not?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean,
they're pretty much on par with what he says he saw and what I was reading that he said he saw, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's really important because what I was reading was written 5 years later from his initial sighting. Now, to me, that's a lot of time to change up your story, you know, if you wanted to change your story up. And he doesn't. He really doesn't. And having read, he's got other interviews and stuff and other stories that get published and whatnot. Like, he stays fairly consistent with what he's saying in each retelling of the story, which I find compelling.
Yeah, that. I don't know how to take that, because on one hand, that's like really like it could be a good sign, or it could be that he just memorized the lie. But
He could. We
yeah.
have other UFO sightings where, like, I'm gonna say it, and I don't want other UFO people to get in a snit about it, but, like, with the Rendlesham Forest case, the guys in that, like a year or so later, the next year, however long, will be like, oh, wait, I have to add more to the story. And I'm like, nope, I don't like that.
Mm-mm.
No.
like,
If
I can
anything-
forgive it once, where he's like, "Hey, my last interview, I forgot to mention."
But they, like, consistently were adding stuff, and I was like, wait a minute.
And then the aliens were like 6 feet tall, and one of them was like really attractive, and said they liked my
that
hair.
would be the Nordics.
The what?
If we're talking about attractive, tall aliens, those are called the Nordics, Chris.
Wow. Yeah, but you're not a ufologist at all.
No, I just watch
You have that in pocket.
Did anybody else think Skyrim? Because I did.
It's same.
What I was going to say, too, is it sounds like if he did rehearse it, it's like a comedian's act. They rehearse their act, what they have to say so much
But
that...
this guy's not a comedian.
No, he's not. However, if you do say something long enough, you start to believe it yourself, and then
You
it's just
could,
more
yes.
believable.
And also, I want to point out, too, with his recording, like, I think you can hear it plain as day in his voice that he's like, I saw something, but, like, man, I really don't know what it was. Like, he almost seems a little bashful, maybe. Like,
I think it
I
started
know
off
this
that
sounds
way.
silly.
Yeah.
I think it starts off that way, but like later on, according to what you said, and he's still having that. I mean, like, I don't know.
His little nervous laughter he adds at the beginning of, like, whenever he's trying to explain what he saw does lend a lot of credence to what you were saying, Lainey. In that specific interview, he sounded very like, he's like, okay, this is going to sound crazy, but this is what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And, like, even too, he's like, I thought my eyesight was, like, going wonky. Like, I don't know what the heck I just saw. So I think it lends credibility to him, again, to be like, I want this to be anything other than something hooky spooky.
I mean, I want it to be spooky.
I do want it to be spooky. I want it to be spooky.
It's probably not going to be spooky in my mind, because the way my mind works, I'm like, nah, it's all made up.
And if nothing else, this is a great story.
Oh my God, yeah.
And yeah, that's what I love. I just want an old man from the 40s to tell me he saw a UFO. That's all I want.
Honestly, though, I don't doubt that he saw, or that he believed he saw it.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He saw
Dalton, were you
something
gonna
for
say
sure.
something?
Oh, he definitely saw something for sure.
You think he saw something? Where are you landing in this so far?
I'm believing him. Why
You're
not?
believing him? Yeah.
Why not?
I'm believing in that it's a hallucination.
Fair.
I have
mean-
no reason to believe that my theory is more correct than your guys's. I'm just throwing out an
That's
alternative.
fair. You're allowed to have your theories.
And to be honest, I don't even fully believe in mine. I'm just like, it's a possibility. Like, I have no
It's on the
evidence
table,
one way.
you
Yeah,
know?
exactly.
And I think that's a healthy skepticism is good to have.
What's an unhealthy skepticism?
Um,
Would that be if, like, a ghost appears in front of me and is like, I'm a ghost and I'm going to
No.
kill you? And I'm like, no, you're not. Is that unhealthy?
I don't know. It would have to be, because if you were by yourself and you saw that, the first thing, if I saw something,
Yeah.
I desperately want to see a UFO. But if
Yeah.
it was by myself, I'd be like, well, I gotta go get an MRI. Like, I truly would not believe that I saw, like, I could not trust my own eyeballs.
Yeah, you would have to rule out everything.
That's my requirement. Like, if I am to ever see a UFO, I need somebody else, preferably my husband, because he's very, very logical, very, no nonsense kind of a guy. Like, and I would trust him to, in what he is.
If he
seen
said,
as well.
if he said that's a UFO, then you're like, well, I'm not.
Well, because I'd be like, what did you see? Did you see it too? What did you see? Explain it to me. And if it matches.
I'm such a skeptic that even then I would be like, well, shared hallucinations is a phenomenon that's been recorded. Like,
Possible, but I'll
Are
put it
you
this
sure
way,
about
we've
that, Mr.
never-
Skeptic?
Yeah.
Oh God, you're right. What, do
But,
reports
like,
even exist?
So far, we have never shared a hallucination. So, I mean, a good track record.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, so far that you know of.
Yeah. But, like, I need other people to be with me to verify it because I truly would not trust just myself.
Yeah, no fair. Same.
The other day, and when I say the other day, that literally means last year, but the other day we were outside, and we were, like, sitting outside by our fire, and I was looking up in the sky because I like to sky gaze and look at the stars.
Hoping for a UFO to come down.
Hoping for a UFO, and suddenly, like, across the sky, this line of lights came, and, like, for the split second, I was like, my time has come, and then it was just Starlink, and then I was sad.
I love the idea. You just stand up like you're by a bonfire in a chair snap. You're like, me, over here. Oh.
I know, I was literally about to be like, aliens, hi, it's me, I'm your biggest fan, and then I was like, oh.
I think the true horror of everything is that they're hanging out with me and not you right now, Lainey. I'm so sorry.
Pissed.
Well,
I'm
we've
pissed.
talked
What-
about
what
this
do you
in an
have that I don't have?
early episode. It's just you're too desperate.
I'm too desperate.
Yeah.
I don't know what more. I'm giving you my eggs, guys. Like, free.
They're
I'm
giving
not
me
gonna put up a
raised
fight.
eyebrows if they had eyebrows. Look, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, because I think the Nordics have eyebrows, not the Greys, though.
no,
Or
these
the
guys
tall
don't have
whites.
eyebrows. In fact, they don't even have faces. Really, it's kind of irritating.
If they don't have faces, well,
Yeah.
then I don't know if you're dealing with any known entity. We got the Greys, the tall whites, is it the tall dark
Why do you think they're
Greys,
hiding?
Nordics?
Their ships look like batarangs. I wouldn't blame them if they hid. They'd be like sought after like Batman fans.
In my head, I think that they all are dressed like Batman.
Okay. I want to read Kenneth's reasoning for even reporting this incident, because I think too we have a different outlook if we were to see something weird, because we're already so far into like UFO lore, but that wasn't a thing here yet. And if you remember too, this is from when we talked about last episode. This is what like opens the opens the floodgates. They're open. They were needed to be greased, but they're open now, and everything's gonna fly out. So this is what he says. I reported something anyone would have reported. If, reasoning along patriotic lines alone, I had not reported my observations, I would have been rightfully considered disloyal to my country. My observations were not due to any particular sensitivity of eyesight, nor to any abnormal or supernatural ability. I am positive that any pilot at the same place at the same time would have observed what I did. By no stretch of imagination can I classify my observations in the categories of illusion, hallucination, apparition, or vision. So he's saying, here, I apologize if you can hear there's a cardinal chirping outside my window.
The bird, right?
Yes, the bird cardinal.
Okay.
No, it's the one from the church.
Yeah, there's just a cardinal from the freaking
Chirp.
Catholic church
Chirp.
outside my window. That feels like an omen to me, because I am not religious.
Pointing at you with like ominous lighting.
He's pointing at me with like a holy, like a rosary and like a bottle, a squirt gun full of holy
He's
water.
come to condemn you for the fact that you want to give aliens your eggs.
Well, honestly, it'd probably be pretty sterile. I hope it's sterile. God, I hope it's sterile.
Nah, they just reach in and grab them. Like eggs from an egg carton.
Gotta check if any of them are broken. They're all broken, turns out.
I'm so sorry
Okay,
for
sorry.
bringing this back up.
You did this to me. Okay. But here he's saying, he's like, I'm doing the American thing to do, because, at this point, I think he's hoping, again, desperately hoping that, one, either it's just American technology that the public doesn't know about, two, which he would not like, but that's why he's saying it, like, it could be Russians, it could be some foreign country's aircraft that is flying over American soil that, like, he's got to tell somebody about, because it wouldn't be patriotic if he was just like gonna pretend I didn't see that. Like, imagine it was some enemy nation and he didn't say anything and he could have stopped something. And I think, I don't see fault in his line of thinking, I should say. And again, it's not like, okay, people don't have UFOs or flying saucers on their minds in the way that we do now at this time period. He's not, looking at this and being like, OMG, it's aliens, guys. Like, he was like, whoa, this is kind of weird, but it's got to be ours or somebody else's, like Russia's. The way this story explodes, like, not only across the country, but the world, like, This essentially is something that goes viral before viral is really a thing. So again, this story, it explodes, and his phone, he doesn't get sleep that first night, basically, because his phone, reporters, people are calling like crazy, and it literally doesn't like let up for 3 straight days. And like at one point in reading his book, he's like, I literally just had to go home because I was so tired, because he was like still over in Oregon at this time, and he was like, I had to go home, I was tired of this. The very interesting thing about this, and I do attribute this to sort of, I don't know if I want to say mass hysteria, but because of him, and we sort of talked about it in the last episode, this kicks off the first, I should say 20th century UFO flap. Because, fun fact, there actually was a UFO flap in the late 1890s. But they didn't have the word UFO. They didn't have the word flying saucer. They called them, from what I can see in my research, because it gets really hard to research UFOs, flying saucers, before 1947, because they didn't have like a unified term for them. A lot of it would be like mysterious flying airship and stuff. Yeah, so this kicks everything off. Reports literally begin to come in all over the country of people suddenly seeing what they're terming flying saucers all over the place. And again, I'm circling back here. Remember how he says it would be as if they were traveling as if you took a saucer plate and like he's saying like skipping it across water almost. He says that, and this becomes a huge topic in and of its own, because Arnold emphatically denied that he initially described the objects as flying saucers. And he didn't say they looked, like flying saucers. He said they behaved like that. And Megan Garber, she writes in her June 15th, 2014 article for The Atlantic, stories of the time credit Arnold with using the term saucer, disc, and pie pan in his description of the objects he had seen. He told his story to reporters Bill Bickett and Nolan Skiff to the East Oregonian newspaper the day after his sighting. Skiff used the words saucer-like aircraft when he published a short print article the same day, after suggesting to Arnold that a wire story might generate comments from the military on flights of experimental aircraft that could explain Arnold's sighting. Bickett published a brief story picked up by the Associated Press wire service using the words 9 bright saucer-like objects to describe what Arnold said he saw. By afternoon, the tale that he had seen flying saucers had spread nationwide. A radio host interviewing Arnold on June 26 noted how rapidly the story was shared, saying, "The Associated and United Press all over the nation have been after the story, and it's been on every newscast over the air and in every newspaper I know of." The Chicago Sun ran the headline, "Supersonic Flying Saucers Sighted by Idaho Pilot." Arnold became a media sensation, whether he liked it or not. Interviewed 30 years later, Arnold said, "I have of course suffered some embarrassment here and there by misquotes and misinformation published in various outlets. This term flying saucer actually is, kind of overblown and misquoted. And again, Arnold, he doesn't say they looked like flying saucers. They were behaving one if you were to throw one. And I guess, the media just kind of took this story and ran with it. And I also think we kind of get a little bit of like the game telephone here, it sort of seems like. Which, okay, yes, I think we definitely get some of that. And also, again, the media wants to sell papers and stories.
And also, you're gonna want a simple image that you can conjure in people's head. You know what I mean?
Yes. And, people know what, like, a saucer plate would look like. So a flying saucer, they take that and they run with it.
Yeah.
And, we can see how this turns out in the media because everybody knows now what a flying saucer is, or you get an idea.
I would be so annoyed if I was him. I was like, it's not what I said.
No, he was pretty annoyed with it, I won't lie. He was like, that's literally not what I said, but okay. And, UFOs get the wide sweeping name flying saucers, and that they suddenly also start to look like flying saucers too. I mean, when you think of a flying saucer, I'm almost certain I can guess what you're thinking of,
It's not batarangs.
No, it's not batarangs. If you can picture things in your head, you don't have that one syndrome or whatever where you can't picture things in your head. Sorry. But if you can, I'm almost certain I know what you're probably thinking, you know? And I was actually listening to the Kenneth Arnold episode of Jimmy Atkins' Mysterious World series, and they bring up that it seems odd to use the phrasing to skip saucer on water when, you know, it seems people usually refer to, like, skipping rocks on water. And what are your thoughts on that?
It is kind of funny that you even say, like, it behaved like a flying saucer. First of all, if it behaved like a flying saucer, specifically, that means he'd have to experience what a flying saucer behaves like.
So he didn't say that, and that's like kind of the point is with telephone game, because what he said is it behaves like if you were to skip a saucer on water.
Mm-hmm.
And then the media took that and said flying saucer.
Yeah.
So,
but I do see what you're saying, Dalton, where he's like, you must have had to skip
a plate,
saucer plate,
and
he could have.
I guarantee you he did. I guarantee you that's just like the image that got conscious in his mind at one point. He was like, "Ooh, I can skip rocks. Maybe I can skip a plate," and then he tried it. You know,
yeah, go skip some rocks.
I know he was like an outside kid, so like it's not out of the realm of possibility to be like, hee, let's throw a plate instead of a rock and like just see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like that doesn't. Also, I do think too here. It's one of those things where he's trying really hard to explain what he saw before we have these terms.
True.
You know, he's trying the best he can with the knowledge and experiences in life that he has to be able to relate what he is seeing when he simply does not have words. That's like us right now, seeing something that we don't have words for.
Yeah, but I'm an amazing writer, so.
Well, I'm not. There's a reason I don't write your episodes. I can do a great history paper though, because that stuff's already happened.
That's true, honestly.
And again, I do think some of this is the media just using it to get attention. It just, the way that it explodes overnight flying saucers, like in my research, it is crazy how like quickly suddenly it's everywhere. It is everywhere. The flying saucers, it is immediately coined and it is like boom, it's sealed. And that doesn't always happen in history with like phrases, sayings, whatever. But in the 70 plus years.
Oh, I was gonna say that I think that happens more in modern history because like memes, memes and stuff spread so quickly, but that's because of the internet.
Yes. We don't have the internet here. We've got, you know, the wires, the radio, that is about it. And the way, like, in the 70 plus years of UFO lore, like, it was immediate. It was like, boom, flying saucers now, this is what they're called. It's something I kind of want to point out that is, like, what to call these things. And we kind of have already talked about this, because right now, I don't think a lot of people actually call them flying saucers anymore. It's, like, UFOs, or the new one, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena, because I think the government, I don't know what I think about it, or they're trying to make it not as, like, hokey or something by calling them UFOs, because, like, UFOs has, like, a stigma attached to it or whatever. And you can hear it, too. Again, circling back to his interview, and we've already talked about it, like, he's trying to find the words of what he saw.
I mean, again, kudos to him, because, like, he's doing his best. You know, like...
Do you think he's sincere?
I do. I do.
Maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, we're switching roles.
I know,
Dalton,
I'm like, wait a minute.
No, it's my turn. It's my turn to be the skeptic.
Well,
Yeah.
what are you skeptical about, Dalton?
How long did he actually go on to talk about his story?
Actually, really good question. So it's really weird. His like life all of a sudden does this weird, like, because of this flap he essentially created, he gets like whisked into this world of like trying to research UFOs. And then in the midst of this happening, not that long after, I can't remember the exact date, but it is not that long after, like maybe 5-10 years or whatever. And it might even be less than that. 2 government officials actually die in a plane crash as they're like doing something to do with a UFO investigation, not of Kenneth Arnold's, but of somebody else's. And for some reason, in his book, he was like, whoa, this became so real to me. What am I doing here? Why am I doing this? I'm just some guy from Idaho. And he just kind of gives it all up. Like, he doesn't want to talk about UFOs anymore. He just wants to go back to regular life. And, like, for, like, 30 years or something, he really doesn't talk about it. The next time he talks about it is in, I believe, 1977.
Mm-hmm.
I
So, like, he
see.
doesn't go on to, like, he doesn't do what, and this means nothing to either of you, but he doesn't do what Travis Walton does, where Travis Walton doesn't shut up about him getting abducted by aliens.
And then they gave me cool superpowers, and then
But
they
here's
took
the
them
thing,
away.
too. Here's the thing. I will say this. If you become a UFO person like this, there's not a lot of money in being a UFO person and, like, just going around the world, unless, I assume maybe Giorgio Tsoukalos, the aliens meme guy with the hair, like, that's his name. Maybe he's got some money because he's got it in the bank with Ancient Aliens season 20, 30, 20,000 or whatever it is. I don't like Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, but that's
I'm gonna
not
say it right
like
here.
that kind of money usually isn't retired. That's like you're good for a couple of years, maybe. You
But
know.
yeah, alien people, unless you already had money, like Tom DeLonge of Blink 182 loves UFOs. And he loves giving money to UFO people. But, like, other than that, there's not money and, like, big publicity in UFO lore.
Yeah, no, I mean, so it's definitely not a money thing, but that's not the only motivation that people do
Yeah.
things. A lot of the times it's just so they can feel different, they can feel smarter or more in the know. Like one thing that's addictive about conspiracy theories is, like the psychology of it is that you feel more educated than those around
Yeah.
you. You feel like I know things you don't, and I'm so smart, and
You're
that
probably
usually
just dumber now, to
that
be honest.
right honestly, but
What?
that kind of stems from just a person's insecurity about like their intelligence, so they overcorrect and make it like this thing that they need to be better at, even if and they start reaching, right? But to me this guy doesn't sound like he's reaching. He sounds like he was trying to be like, hey, the Russians or someone, this
Oh
could
yeah,
be
no, he
dangerous.
wants it to be like, he was like, whoa, just let it be this normal thing. And I do want to point out too, at he speaks to the press a couple of times, and he does say, this whole thing has gotten out of hand. I want to talk to the FBI or someone. Half the people look at me as a combination of Einstein, Flash Gordon, and a screwball. I wonder what my wife back in Idaho thinks. Like, he's like, I want to talk to somebody just so we can get this sorted out and me be done with it.
I want to speak to the government's manager.
Literally, he's like somebody, and he did. He'd be like, "Hey, government, come talk to me. I'll talk. Let's figure it out and let me be done."
He was the first Karen.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe. No, you know what? I probably have a lot. You know what? That would be a wonderful history episode, like Karens of history.
Oh my god.
Karens of history.
Oh,
There's a lot.
yes. Okay, Pen, add that to your list.
I have to add that to my list. But I do have a question for you guys. If you were Kenneth Arnold, would you have said anything?
If I was kind of Arnold, but not Arnold.
No, Kenneth Arnold.
Oh.
Kind of Arnold.
Just kind of Arnold.
If I was Arnold, yes. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, well, because if I'm putting myself in his shoes, I would have
And
absolutely...
remember, there's no UFO stigma.
Exactly. And that's why I would have said something, because the UFO thing isn't a thing. So I would just be like, hey guys, I saw something weird. I don't know if it's like enemy spacecraft. I don't know if it's top secret government stuff, but either way, I don't want it to be said that I didn't say anything. Like, I want to make sure I'm okay. If it was Christopher George currently, I want to say no, just because my level of skepticism would be like, weird. That was a weird hallucination. Like,
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I'm by myself, I am, as much as I want it to be a UFO, I'd be like, my brain's really broken.
Like, I would talk about it and be like, yeah, I had a really weird hallucination once. And then I would, like, preface it with that. But
Yeah. Dalton,
Yeah.
what about you?
I would have said something too. Like, that's something that you definitely talk to somebody about, and then like, or at least mention to somebody. I don't know if I would have done it as grand scheme.
Well, to be fair, I don't think he ever meant it to be grand scheme. Like, he wasn't running to reporters being like, I got the newest story on the wires for you.
yeah, right.
For some reason, I don't even remember how they got there, but I know he had talked. He lands, he does his fuel stop, talks very briefly to some people there, and then by the time he gets into Oregon, somehow there's people there, like, waiting, and it just explodes. And I have to wonder, too, if anybody else, like, if they were, like, backpacking or something, out in the wild, doing whatever they are in the wilderness, if they saw anything, too.
I mean, considering he saw it that high up,
Probably not, I would assume.
yeah.
And considering
But
how
it
fast
was,
they
they
were
said it was
moving.
a clear day out.
Yeah, but the difference is like, because he was already kind of moving somewhat. He was already moving and he was high up in the sky and was positioned
Yeah.
differently. If you're on the ground and they were moving that fast, it would have been like a quick zoom.
True. And
You
now
know?
that I think about it, I remember in his book he said too, like, if somebody had seen this from below, I do not believe they would have been able to accurately depict what they saw because it was moving too fast. It was too high up. I just happened to have like the perfect angle to see
Exactly,
them.
yeah.
Okay, I've answered my own question.
There you go.
I obviously would be saying something, but first, if it was just myself, if it's 1947, I think I would have told my husband. Maybe not have told anybody else because maybe they think I'm just a crazy hysterical woman.
It's like, no, dear, don't worry about it. Just
Send
them
her
local
into the
boys.
Bloomington. You need a lobotomy.
Oh, no.
No, I'm getting sent
Oh,
away.
yeah, I mean, you're a woman.
No,
first and
I'm a
foremost.
woman. I'm getting sent away.
Bad times in
But
American history.
me now, I would have been like, I think I saw something, but like I can't trust myself. Like I would have so much doubt in myself. Like really, an alien would have to come up to me, like slap my shoulder and be like, "Hello there." Like for me to even then, I'm
Yeah,
still gonna be
I
like,
was like,
"Oh,
even
I'm
then,
having
I
a
would.
hallucination."
It was like,
Unless
wow.
again, if I have other people there with me to be like, "Yep, I'm seeing the same thing."
Yeah. No, I'm with you on that too. I think I would be hallucinating even if something did that. Like I would need like hard proof, multiple brain scans, and then like also them give me like a
A
business
coin,
card,
give
you
me
know,
give me a coin, a business card, something.
something so I can be like I also have something physical. Like it would take so much to convince me of stuff like that.
And even if I did, like, if I was Kenneth Arnold in that moment, like, yeah, that's hard to say, really, if I would act the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, ADHD Dalton's like, oh, what was that? Oh, I guess I guess I saw something or whatever.
No, I think maybe too, just because I'm a UFO person, I couldn't forget about it.
I'm not a UFO person, so I would be like, I mean, honestly, I think I try to maintain my level of skepticism
I think you are
everywhere.
open but skeptical, and I think that is a perfectly reasonable place to be at. I think that's actually my preferred place for everybody to be at. I don't want you to immediately be like, it's UFOs, when it's like somebody threw a frisbee in the air. I want to bring back, because I know if somebody might mention it sometime in the future, at one point they do get called flying donuts. As you mentioned in the last episode,
I was
they do
wondering.
specifically get called donuts for some reason. I remember reading and I was like, why are they calling them donuts?
I was wondering when that was going to come back.
Yes, they get called donuts, and I think it's important to notice even the things earlier he said at one point it was like if you took a pie pan and cut it in half, people still, like, even the pie pan term, that was widely used. So, like, yes.
I don't know how donut came into it. That's
I don't know
weird.
how donut came into it either, but I needed to, like, it just came back into my brain, and I was like, oh my god, I have to mention it, or people are going to be like, what about the donuts?
Yeah.
Somebody someday, when they listen to this show, thanks for watching, by the way, they're going to be like, you didn't answer the donut thing.
That would have been hilarious if you
Gast
didn't.
would do it. Gast 100% would do it. Gast, shout out to Gast.
Yep.
That's a listener, longtime listener, big fan of Gast here.
Oh, yeah.
And also, I do want to, like, clarify that this by no means is, like, the first ever quote-unquote UFO sighting. It is just the first story, again, to essentially go viral before viral is a thing. UFO sightings have been happening for a long, long time. They just weren't called UFOs or flying saucers at the time. Again, it would be like mystery airships or whatever. But what this sighting did do, again, was the floodgates are now open. 2 weeks later, Roswell is going to happen. And the funny thing about Roswell actually is, okay, so the floodgates get opened for Kenneth Arnold. Roswell happens. Gets forgotten about, believe it or not. And actually, it's like 30 or 40 years later, they talk about it again, and the floodgates reopen again.
You guys need to get new gates. The gates are...
They do need some new gates. I kind of want to cover Roswell. I feel very conflicted about it. Again, last podcast on the left has a great story on it.
Yeah. I mean, maybe eventually. It's just the thing is Roswell is so well known. I'm not sure what we
It
could
is
say.
incredibly well known.
Yeah.
And I feel conflicted about it because I think I tend to lean towards it wasn't aliens.
It wasn't or was?
Wasn't.
Yeah. I mean,
As much, again, I
same.
want it to be. I want it to be so bad. I actually don't think it was. Maybe. I don't know, because there's always that, like, doubt in my mind. What if?
Just don't doubt yourself, you know?
Well, that's really good. Like, that's really good, but I don't know if I can do that. So, this kind of brings me to the end of our story here. And overall, do you think, both of you, do you think Kenneth Arnold really saw something out of this world?
Out of everything that, like, so far we've talked about, this to me is the most credible because of his reaction. So I can chalk this up into, okay, this is interesting, and this is, like, something I can't easily see as, like, oh, well, obviously they made it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have you made me a believer? No. Like, I do believe that alien life exists. I do believe that intelligent alien life exists. My issue I take with it is that they are
As if
visiting.
they're not here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or they're more intelligent than us and have beat us to it. Like, there's just
I mean,
so
I would
many
assume
unknowns.
if there's intelligent... Yeah, it's really hard. Also, I think... I have a really hard time even thinking, like, the government knows. Okay. First of all, wait, before we get there. Dalton.
Yes.
Have you been swayed at all? What do you think has happened here?
My opinion on aliens has not changed. My opinion on Kenneth Arnold being existing. Now that
He
is,
didn't exist.
he doesn't exist. I don't know what you're talking about. No.
Well,
Yeah.
do you think he saw quote-unquote UFOs?
He could have. I mean, it's highly likely he saw something up there, sure.
Do you think how Chris believes that he believes he saw something?
I believe he
mean-
saw something. Let me be clear. I believe that he believed he saw something.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out the possibility that this could have been an hallucination.
It could have been a hallucination. It could have been a prolonged hallucination. But, like, if he saw it for as long as he did...
2 to 3 minutes, which is, I would say...
That is pretty long for a
UFO
hallucination.
sighting.
People don't even see oases for that long. Like,
I mean, that's fair. That is fair. I'm not saying...
or mirages, my bad, mirages.
Yeah, I meant what you knew. But, like...
Yeah.
But it's also not unheard of. It's not like that hasn't been recorded before. It's also incredibly specific and incredibly consistent for hallucination. So, as I said, I'm holding out hope for it. But I definitely believe he saw something. I believe that he saw something. But the skeptic in me is like, I need more than one eyewitness account
That's
is
fair.
credible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
Fair
I
enough.
mean?
I think that's a very hard hurdle to get over. Like, that last little bit. Which, I don't find anything wrong with that, I should say.
That's
It's
fair.
definitely chalked up into the credible pile.
Okay.
For me.
I'll take it. I will take it. And Dalton's already on my alien side anyways.
Yeah. I mean, it
I
helps
think
that,
in
like,
the-
Dalton has aliens in his bedroom currently.
Yep,
True.
they are currently nodding along with me right now.
I hope, did they like the episode? Like, did I get things
They
right?
also don't believe Kenneth Arnold is real.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to, like, maybe find his birth certificate or something. Maybe that would sway them, perhaps.
Yeah, but that could have been doctored.
I guess.
True.
Ugh,
He did steal the
so-
design from Batman from the Detective Comics.
I am a little concerned about that. I'm not gonna lie. That to me, that puts a little hole in the story. Not a huge hole, but there's a little hole there
Yeah.
that, like, gives
Yeah.
me a little bit of doubt
It's like...
because I think media influences us a lot.
Oh, God, yeah.
Oh, yes.
I mean, think of the donuts and the saucers. Like you said, like, people weren't really thinking of UFOs as saucers, and then all of a sudden, flying saucer got thrown
Yeah,
around,
all
and
of a sudden
now
it's saucers.
it's saucers, right?
Yep. So again, I think it is a perfectly okay place to be that you say maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
maybe.
kind of how it is. So before we end it for today, I just want to share this like beautiful excerpt at the beginning of Kenneth's book that it just felt nice, like his kind of view on the world. It is my impression that everyone, no matter what part they play in this existence that seems to go on into infinity, has a special purpose or a special task or a special reason for being what they are and for doing the things they do. I don't say that we are placed here by a divine providence to accomplish a great mission. Nothing so egotistical. Perhaps it is purely a personal reason, merely to add to our own experience, our own mental growth, our ability to become a functional part in a whole of society which may be more vast than we can dream.
Aww.
Isn't that sweet?
That is
That's
so
sweet. I'm like,
sweet.
yeah. Like, and I think it was beautiful for this. He's like, maybe this is just my story in our story, our collective story as a whole, you know?
Okay. He's a
So-
cool guy.
Yeah, I thought
Maybe
that was so
his
sweet.
words can exist.
Yeah, they do in book form and online. That's where I got them.
I love
Reading
that
books
fanfic.
now? Crazy.
Yes, we're reading books. It's crazy.
Ugh, I would never.
So I just want to thank you all for listening. Thank you to my co-hosts. And again, thank you for listening to my UFO rants. I know we get deep. We're not even deep, actually. We are not deep yet. Even if it feels deep, we have so much more to go. I promise I won't do another alien episode for a little bit, though. I know these aren't always everybody's favorite.
You
They're
hear that?
my favorite.
All
fine.
right, you hear that, guys? You have
They
to
can
go.
go take
you
a
have
break.
to go
They
home.
can,
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
they can go home now.
Well, I know.
They're
I
like,
know you're.
meat more.
Are you?
Meat
How
more.
are you crying?
You could have said a slur in Alien. You don't know. Watch what
How?
you're saying.
How are they crying? What?
I
They're
hope you're
crying?
not expecting
Yeah,
me.
how?
I hope you're not expecting me to sound engineer that.
No, no.
No, you don't have to.
Just
put
the
in
first one
Alien.
would have been funny.
That is so good. And if you want to listen to
Get
more of
Dakota.
our voices, you can check out Chris and Dalton on their audio drama, The Patient Files, wherever you listen to podcasts. And you can find me over on YouTube at Pink Possibly, where I'll be covering UFOs still because it's my special interest right now. And if you want to tune in to the show, we do listening parties. You can look at the audio we've provided in the show. You can look at pictures we provided. You can join our Discord, and that is in the link in the show notes below. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next time. Say bye, boys.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.